Today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp.com, and I've been with them for a long time. BetterHelp is an online platform where we found that you can effectively communicate with your therapist. Now, you begin by filling out a questionnaire, and then you'll be matched with a therapist within a couple of days. And if that match isn't ideal for you, you can certainly make an adjustment there. Now, you're going to be encouraged to journal, and also they have the availability for group therapy on a wide array of topics, and I really like that. So as the need exists, go ahead and take the necessary steps to get the help that you need. And just know that BetterHelp has a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, so it indeed is a platform you can trust. There's a link below the video that will take you there. One of the most troubling byproducts of being exposed to a narcissist or even a narcissistic system is that you can have so much misinformation that comes from that person to you about you that over time and with repetition, you can start believing all sorts of things that they want you to believe that are not only inaccurate, but they take you into a really negative and dark place. So many times I would have people that would come into my counseling office and they would say, well, do I even make any sense? Or maybe I'm the problem. I've been told that all along. And when you hear complaints and criticisms often enough from that narcissistic individual, sure enough, you have a tendency to believe it. And that's what may have been what had happened to you in your past. And as a result, you have struggles with self-doubt. You can have emotional confusion. You can struggle with anger and insecurity and anxiety and depression. And that's not something we need to have. That's just part of the hangover effect of you having been with that narcissistic individual. What I want to do today is I want to identify multiples of attitudes or ideas that narcissists have tried to push onto you. They need you to believe that so that they can keep you in a subjugated position. The more you're able to see it for what it is and for the inaccuracy that it is, I'm hoping it can be a catalyst for you to say, I'm going in a very different direction. So let's dive right in. Now, right at the top of the list of things they want you to believe, you have to comply with my version of groupthink. And when I say groupthink, narcissists insist that they have to have their little group of people around them who think exactly as they tell them they're supposed to think. And so any kind of individuation that's there or any distinctions that you bring or any uniqueness that you offer is going to be categorically dismissed. No, you need to think like me and all the rest of these smart people that I've gathered around myself. And if you don't, that means you're a dunce. Another thing that they'll come at you with is when you and I disagree, then automatically you're wrong. and they'll more or less imply in a not very pleasant kind of way, you just don't make any sense. The sad thing is you don't even see how much you don't make sense. And so there's this mocking or this derision that they have when you try to have your own ideas that you try to convey. Now, having said that, one of the things they'll also imply is, you know what, you need to quit making excuses when I call you out on certain things. And then when you say, but what you're saying is not accurate, then they'll say, look at how defensive you are. And you hear something like that over and over and over. The message is, you're the troubled one. You're the one that's constantly unwilling to receive truth. It's a good thing you have me around to tell you what to think and what to do. On top of that, another one of their maddening, phrases they may imply is, you really have serious anger issues. Now, this is directly after they have provoked you to anger. It's akin to that person jabbing you in the ribs with a stick, and then when you say, quit it, and then they say, you're always yelling at me. And so they kind of forget the jabbing with the stick part. You have some serious anger issues. I, of course, didn't set it up. It's just you've got problems that are just ready to come on out. Now, another attitude that they'll say is when you're independent, that means you're selfish. When you act independently, it means you're ill-informed. When you act independently, it means you're an ingrate. You don't even appreciate what you have here with me. Now, on top of that, another of the attitudes that they'll have is when you have failed, you have sealed your fate as a loser. There's no mistake for you to have any kind of humanity, keeping in mind, though, that they have many failures along the way in their personal life, but that doesn't count. When you fail, you're just a permanent loser. That's all you are in my economy. Another of the attitudes that perhaps they have tried to make you believe is you need to filter your opinions through me. You need to filter your preferences. You need to filter your priorities all through me. Why? Because I'm the ultimate one who knows things. Clearly, you do not. Another is I've tried so hard to make you happy, but you're never satisfied. And then they can try to make it out as if you're some sort of a sour person, that you don't appreciate all the wonderful things that narcissist brings at you with all their dominance and control. You should appreciate all of that. Another attitude that they convey is, no one's going to want you if you get away from me. Now, whether this is at your place of work or social life or family life, you're not that desirable. You need to be glad you have me around. Nobody else is going to want you. You're damaged goods. Or another, the narcissist may come toward you and say, I'm not the critic that you think that I am. I just happen to be exposed to your ineptitude. If you quit being inept, then I wouldn't be critical. So actually, I'm not a critic now, am I? Or in addition, they can convey something to the effect of, I'm never surprised when you fail. I'm never surprised when you're a disappointment, because it's just who you are. Now, I have spoken to so many individuals who will say, oh, I've heard those kind of comments and many more. And as the time goes by, and when I say time, days, weeks, months, decades of these kind of messages, it just wears down your psychological well-being. Now, I spoke recently with a woman who, it was so encouraging to hear her say it. She more or less talked with me about having been exposed to a family of origin and a marital situation, and then a social organization that she was involved with that just sent these kind of messages to her left and right. And finally, she was saying, you know what? I'm seeing through it now. I used to believe all that stuff, and she had a lot of second guessing of herself, but I'm not at the same place. It's important for you to understand that when narcissists come toward you with these falsehoods and with these inaccuracies, it's a direct result of them lying to themselves about who they are. They don't want to believe certain things about themselves, about how they struggle and all. But I'm hoping that you can realize beneath the surface, they're hurting. And they're trying to put their hurt onto you, but there are so many things insights that you'll need to hold on to as you move forward. There's certain insights about that narcissist. For example, they have to lie to themselves about how better they are, or how much smarter they are, or how much more important they are. They think competitively. What's going on with that? Can you just learn to say people are people and we don't have to one up and one down? But that's the mindset that they carry. In addition, they lie to themselves by saying, my opinions, my interpretations are the only one in the room that can matter. And it's like, are you that insecure that you're unable to factor in somebody else's perhaps equal or maybe even better interpretations? They lie to themselves by telling themselves, this would be a better world if more people thought just like I do. Now, digest that one for just a moment. If more people were insulting and critical and agitated and irritable, and just like that narcissist, yeah, boy, we'd have a better way of living, wouldn't we? But they honestly believe something like that. There's a falsehood that they have to hold on to. Or they'll say to themselves, and this is another lie, I'm really easygoing. And the only problem that I have, if I'm not easygoing in your estimation, is that I'm surrounded by a lot of idiots. Just give me what I want, and I'm real easy to get along with. And you can see the inaccuracy and the rationalization that goes along with that. And then, in addition, they've lied to themselves by saying, "No one's allowed to challenge me." And when I say no one, I mean nobody. So as you examine the lies that they give you, and then you realize, but it's all an outpouring of the lies that they tell themselves about themselves, I'm hoping you can realize this is what alternate reality looks like. Narcissists want to draw you into their alternate reality, and I'm hoping you can decide, I want nothing of that. Internally, the narcissist is a mess. They've been a pretender for as long as you've probably known them. They would be humiliated if they have to come to terms with their own struggles and be open and honest about their many difficulties that they have. So what they do is they say, it's up to you to prop me up. And in the meantime, it's like, and I need you to believe poor things about yourself so that you'll stay in submission to me. Now, I know as I say this, it's like, do people really do this in a deliberate kind of way? And so much of what they do, frankly, has a subconscious motive to it, because so much of their need to compensate for their own inadequacies began at a very early time in life. But it really is pretty pitiable when someone comes at you and says, I have to have you believe in these negative things about yourself because I can't come to terms with all those negatives that are on the inside of me. So why don't we conclude by saying, only a troubled, exploitive, broken soul would be so desperate to force feed misinformation upon someone like yourself, based upon their own hidden fears and frankly, their inhumanity. And I'm hoping you can decide, I see all that for what it is. I no longer feel any need to believe whatever they have to say about me. I'm saddened that they think that way, but knowing what I know now, it motivates me to be the very best version of myself that I can be. I'll do no other. Now, I hope that videos like this can give you some good awareness of what you might be dealing with and what you've been exposed to through the years. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do so. We're going to keep coming. We're going to keep bringing more videos back to you. I'm hoping as you watch the videos on a cumulative basis, there can be a building sense of awareness and insight that you draw upon. And I really appreciate you allowing me to be on your journey with you. Now, you know that I've mentioned before that I'm sponsored by the people at BetterHelp.com. So many times when you're dealing with something like this, it's good to have somebody that can help you sift it out and gain the insights that would be necessary along with what we're talking about here. If you have that need, we have a link below. Please go and check them out. We know that online therapy is quite beneficial and effective. Get the assistance that you would need. Now, in addition, I invite you to go to my website. We have a whole lot of information on there. When I say it's a large website with lots of resources. Now, chief among them, I have some courses, and they're very extensive. Each course has at least 25 teaching videos with handouts and guided questions. Anger games, this is me about boundaries. Ready, set, connect about having healthy connections. Free to be finding yourself despite those controllers. And so look into some of those along with my past webinars that I've presented, which are 90-minute PowerPoint presentations, lots of articles. We have my book, so plenty of resources there. I'm sorry that there have been times in your past where you've actually gotten to the place where you believe some of the wrong input that's been placed into you. But life is a growth process. And as you grow deeper and deeper into a self-trust and you allow yourself to challenge some of the erroneous messages that have been given to you, I'm hoping it allows you to go deeper and deeper towards personal steadiness. And in the end, I hope that you can find truly your sense of peace.